Hey, welcome to another episode. Music Tips and Reviews with JG. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. First of all, I want to say, if you haven't seen the documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, I don't think you should watch this video, but if you have, like I said, you should watch it first before you watch this video, because it's a lot of spoilers in this video, this live. But if you have saw it, or you're not really thinking about watching it, it's okay. But if you decide to watch it, I'm gonna spill a lot of stuff from the documentary. This is my third documentary about Diddy, and so if you really interested in this story, join me for the ride. This is all from the top of my head, what I saw in the documentary. It was four episodes of this documentary. Executive producer was 50 Cent. I forgot the other lady's name. I'm gonna look it up. But it was definitely a great documentary, and it was a lot of things that unfolded from this documentary that a lot of people should look at. They should look at Alex Stapleton. I think she won Emmys for a few documentaries and things of that nature, but she's a great, and it was a great documentary. I can say it was a great documentary, but at the same time I was like wondering why, and I know why. They wanted to show Diddy up to the trial, to show that he still was the same person up to the trial, and you can definitely see a lot of those things. And I wonder why Diddy wanted to show those things up to the trial. It still showed the person he was up to the trial. He went out in the streets, and he didn't really want to. He shook people's hands and hugged people in the street. But when he got in the car, he showed his true side, that he wasn't really for the people. He thought he had to take a bath. He had to use hand sanitizer when he got in the truck, because he felt dirty from just touching people in the streets. And so I felt that wasn't right. But it did a great job connecting. I feel like it had a good job connecting things, connecting his personality, how he has been throughout time, and how people connected to this person, especially with the deaths of Tupac and Biggie. They show how he was connected to these gangs, the Crips and things of that nature, and how it can be connected to, or it was connected to, the Tupac shooting and Biggie shooting. But I think the Biggie shooting was more, as the documentary kind of portrays, as Diddy becoming, knowing that Biggie is probably soon is going to part ways with him before he died. I feel like Diddy, or Puff Daddy at the time, he kind of sensed that Biggie might leave because he's not getting the rights, he's not getting the ownership that he really wants. Before he died, Biggie died in LA, and in the documentary, Kurt Barrow was part owner of the Bad Boy, and he owned 25% of Bad Boy. And I'm gonna go all over the place. I might not go chronological as the documentary was, but it was a lot of points, as far as Kurt Barrow. You found out later on that he was abused mentally and physically by Diddy as well, and that was mind blowing. how he threatened later on Kurt Barrow for his 25% in Bad Boy. And so it was a lot of things, connecting how, it's surprising Eric Sherman in the documentary, how Misa was with Eric Sherman, and then he took Misa, Kim Porter from Albie Shore. I believe he messed with a girl, Suge Knight's girl. And so it's a whole lot of things that we show. But the thing I want to say though, and a lot of people is kind of having a bad side, looking at the music industry in a bad angle. I believe the music industry don't have to be that way, but the powers that be chose it to be that way, as far as being dark and evil. And this is kind of illuminating that side of the industry. Diddy was a music mogul. He was like the face of you would say urban hip hop and R&B. He was the face. That was my childhood, my early years. Bad Boy was the thing when I was growing up, when I was young. That was the thing, Bad Boy. Everybody said Bad Boy, but we didn't know, especially us being young and not being around those people. Just seeing them on the TV. You never know what type of people they really are. We just see them on the screen, but we don't know what type of people they really are. And we really see that as time goes by, as technology evolves, and we see these celebrities' true personality, we see the true colors of who they really are. And it's very surprising. Just sad the way this thing been happening since his early years. 92, I believe 91, 92, when the basketball game incident, celebrity basketball game incident occurred. I believe it was a lot of people that died in that incident, and they said that ever since then he was violent towards towards the ladies, the girls he messed with, the girls he wanted to be with. It talks about Aubrey, it talks about the Make It a Band era, it talks about that as well. And it covered a lot of things, and now I'm trying to put it in a nutshell. It goes to Dirty Money, Kalina. A lot of people thought Kalina was on Diddy's side, and in a way she was, but in a way she wasn't, because she wasn't aware of everything that happened between her and Don, but she did express that he did a lot for her. But I believe Kalina wasn't all the way on Diddy's side, but that's the way things looked, but it's just crazy. It's crazy, and I feel like in a way Diddy has still gotten away with a lot of stuff, being served only 50 months in prison. The question is, will he be charged with more things or be tried in court for more things that's coming out and being revealed? And that's the question. But it talked about his childhood, how his mother, really disciplined him, and it may have been harsh. People that saw it, how she dressed him in clothes, all these type of clothes to sort of fill the void of his father being killed at a young age, when Diddy was a young age. And so it was a lot of things, how he was teased as a young boy, and then when he started fighting back, he really fought back. And I think a lot of things in people's lives are built off of traumas that they have, traumas that they've had in life. And I think, that's what happened. a lot of traumas in Diddy's life, and it made him the person that he was in a bad way. I think he tried to cover up a lot of pain he had, abusing other people, and that's not the right way to go. And so there's a lot of things that, I can't think of everything, but those are the main things I got from this documentary. It was a great documentary. Check it out. And I like the way they connected things. They connected, as far as and they had really detailed footage, never seen before footage, especially, when Biggie got killed, footage of people actually viewing those things in real time, the time when Biggie got killed and things of that nature. And it was very eye-opening. Like I said, a lot of the things in there was a repeat of what I saw in other documentaries, but it was a lot. I think this was the best one because it really showed a lot of deep details, not only what happened, but Diddy's personality, and it showed a lot of people that was really close to him, that are bold enough now to really come out and say how they felt about Diddy, what the things they did to them, especially after the trial has happened. They could come out like Capricorn Clark, like I said, Kalina, Lil Rod. A lot of things happened to him physically and mentally during working on the Love album, and that came out 2023, I believe. But it's a lot of things, and I think a lot of people are dealing with a lot of traumas. Mark Carey was talking about how he wrote a lot for him when he was on Bad Boy, and how he wasn't really treated right. The things he witnessed being at Bad Boy, seeing a lot of people that was on Bad Boy that has gotten killed or passed away. It's something to think about. A very eye-opening documentary that you should check out. Definitely check out the documentary. But I just wanted to say it off the top of my head what I really got from it. I believe 50 Cent and Alex Stapleton, they did a great job executive producing. A lot of people think that Diddy just doing it. 50 Cent is just doing it to get back with Diddy. Maybe it is. But at the same time, he's studied that he has, Diddy has done a lot of things to a lot of people, and he wants people to recognize it. And a lot of people say that 50 should watch out because a lot of people could dig dirt on him, on 50 Cent. But, all in all, it was a great documentary. Very eye-opening documentary. So many great artists went through Bad Boy. It's a shame how they were treated on Bad Boy, not being compensated properly as far as royalties. I remember in 2023 how he wanted to pay people back their publishing, but it wasn't really substantial, as far as what they're owed throughout all these years. What they was owed throughout all these years, it really doesn't compensate what they really were owed as far as when they were on Bad Boy. At the time, being artists, they wasn't really compensated, like they really should have been. They talk about how, Diddy could have been jealous, or Puff Daddy at the time could have been jealous of Biggie, and he was kind of a help in Biggie's demise. That's what a lot of people feel. And so, it's a lot of things. Check it out. 4 episodes. Really good documentary. I think this is the best I've seen. Like I said, this is the 3rd one I've seen about Diddy. So check it out. This is my live review on it. Sean Combs, The Reckoning. And so again, appreciate y'all for watching. And until next time, peace.